You are 13. It is your father's garden in Domrémy, and it is the middle of the day. Then a light comes too bright for noon, white and close and wrong, and out of it a voice says your name. Just your name, the way your mother says it. You will spend the rest of your short life doing what the light tells you. Someone, somewhere, already knows exactly how this ends. You don't. You are a peasant girl. You cannot read. You have never held a sword, never seen a battle, never been more than a day's walk from where you were born. And the voice in the light asks the impossible, that France has a true king who has not been crowned, and that you are going to put the crown on his head. There is a war on, and there has been since long before your grandfather was a boy. The English hold half the country and say their child king is the king of France too. The Burgundians are French and fight on the English side. And behind both sits a third thing, patient and quiet, that you will not learn to fear until it is far too late, a church court with the power to decide everything you do is the work of the devil. No one in Domrémy will believe you. That is not the problem. The problem is that men with armies eventually will, and the men who put you in armor will be the same men who, 6 years from now, sit silent in a room in Rouen and let the other side decide what you are. Level 1. The Voices. You are 13 and they do not stop. St. Michael first, then 2 women you come to know better than your own sisters, St. Catherine, St. Margaret. That is what you call them, gentle and relentless. They tell you the same thing until it stops sounding like madness and starts sounding like an instruction. Go to the king's men, get to the Dauphin, lift the siege, see him crowned, and do it soon. They keep saying soon, the way you say it to someone whose time is running out. A voice from a white light is telling a 13-year-old her time is short. You will spend the rest of your short life finding out it was right. Level 2. The captain who said no, you are 16. You walk to the nearest French garrison town, Vaucouleurs, and you ask the captain there, a hard man named Robert de Baudricourt, to send you to the Dauphin. A farmer's daughter asking a soldier for an armed escort across a country at war so she can go and crown a king. He laughs. He tells your cousin to box your ears and take you home, so you go home. And you come back. And you come back again, until the laughter stops. Until one cold day Baudricourt does the one thing no soldier should, he gives you the escort. You cut off your hair. You put on men's clothes, because a girl will not survive the roads otherwise. You ride out. You will never see Domrémy again. Level 3. The king in the crowd. You are 17. They take you to the castle at Chinon, to the man the voices sent you for, Charles, the Dauphin, never crowned, a thin, nervous prince who half the country says is not even legitimate. He decides to test you. When you are brought into the great hall, he hides among his courtiers and dresses another man in his place on the throne. Everyone waits to see if the peasant girl bows to the decoy. You walk past the throne. You go straight to Charles, standing among the richer men, and you kneel. The room goes quiet. Then the clergy examine you for weeks. At Poitiers, is she a witch, a fraud, or sent by God, and find nothing against you? So Charles gives you what no one gives a farm girl. He gives you an army. Level 4. Orléans. You are 17, in armor made to your size. Riding to the city, the whole war turns on. Orléans has been under English siege for months, half-starved, ringed by forts. Everyone expects it to fall. And when it falls, the road south opens and the Dauphin is finished. You go in over the river with supplies, and you do the thing the tired captains will not you attack. At an English fort on the bridge, Les Tourelles, a crossbow bolt goes clean through your shoulder, above the breast, deep. They carry you off the field. The wound is dressed. And then, bleeding, barely able to lift your own arm, you get back on the horse and ride back to the wall, because the soldiers who saw the girl fall need to see her come back. The fort falls. The siege that held for months breaks in days. You are 17, and you have just changed the war. Level 5. The crown. This is what the voices wanted. After Orléans, the towns open their gates as you pass. The English fall back, and you take the Dauphin on a long march deep into hostile country to the one place a French king must be crowned, the cathedral at Reims. On the 17th of July, before the great altar, the thin, nervous prince is anointed and made King Charles VII of France. And you are there, in your armor, banner in hand, beside the throne in the most sacred moment in the kingdom. A girl who could not read, who was boxed on the ears and sent home 2 years ago, has put the crown on the head of the King of France. The voices have kept their word. This is the top of your whole life. Hold on to it. Everything after this is the way down. Level 6. The King Who Stops. Here is the part the statues never show you. The crown was the goal, but the war is not over, and the new king, the one you made, has had enough. He wants to negotiate now, deal with the Burgundians, stop spending men. You want to march on Paris and finish it. You get your assault on the capital, and at the walls of Paris a crossbow bolt goes through your thigh, and this time when you are carried off, the king's men do not let you go back. The attack is called off. The momentum that carried you from a garden in Lorraine to a cathedral altar is gone, and the man who has it now would rather talk than fight. You are still 17. You have already peaked, and a part of you knows it. Level 7. The Fall at Compiègne. You are 18. You keep fighting smaller fights because the voices have not told you to stop and you do not know how. At Compiègne, in a skirmish outside the walls, the thing your luck has held off finally happens. The retreat closes the gate behind you while you are still outside it, and the Burgundians pull you off your horse. You are a prisoner. And now, the slow, patient machine you never learned to fear wakes up. The Burgundians who hold you are French, but not your French, and they have something the English want badly: the girl who crowned the wrong king. The king you crowned, who owes you everything, says nothing, sends nothing, pays nothing. You are sold to the English for a fortune in gold. No army is coming for you. Level 8. The 70 Charges. You are 19, in a cell in Rouen, in chains, and the English have learned the one true thing about you. They cannot just execute the girl who beat them that makes a martyr. They need you to be a heretic. So they hand you to a church court run by a bishop on their side, Pierre Cauchon, and bring something like 70 charges against you: witchcraft, heresy. The men's clothing you wore to stay alive on the roads becomes a sin against God. Day after day, alone, with no one to defend you, you face a room of trained scholars whose whole job is to trap a farm girl in her own words, and for weeks you do not let them. Your answers are so sharp the record survives to this day. But you are 19, frightened and very tired, and one day, with the fire in front of you, they get you to make a mark on a paper you cannot read, abjuring everything to save your life. Level 9. The Fire. They give you a woman's dress for signing, and then, a few days later, you put the men's clothes back on. Maybe they were left for you on purpose. Maybe you knew exactly what it meant and chose it anyway because the voices had come back, and you would not call them lies to save your own skin. To the court, it is enough. You have relapsed. There is no second mercy. On the 30th of May, they take you to the marketplace at Rouen and tie you to a tall stake above the crowd. You ask for a cross. A soldier ties 2 sticks together and gives you one, and another man holds a church cross up where you can see it as the fire is lit. You are about 19 years old. They burn you. And then this is the part that tells you what they were really afraid of. They rake the fire apart so the crowd can see there is a body, that you were only a woman after all. Then burn what is left a second time, and throw the ashes into the river Seine, so nothing of you can be kept, or buried, or visited. They beat you in the only place they ever could, a courtroom, and even then they did not trust the fire to be enough. 25 years after the smoke clears, the same church will reopen the case and declare you innocent, the trial a fraud. 500 years after that, they make you a saint. The thin, nervous king you crowned keeps the throne you won him and dies in his bed. They will put up statues of the girl in armor all over the country that sold her, and almost none will show what you actually were. 13 in a garden, 16 and laughed at, 17 with a bolt in your shoulder, 19 and alone in a room of men deciding what your voices meant. Another life history for God is waiting. Subscribe.